So today I'm going to show you the Zephyr simulation. So Zephyr has a free 30-day trial. There is a full version. There are several additions to the full version. There's also a kid version as well as an educational version. So this will be determined by which one you have. So let's go through it. So the first thing that we need to talk about is the all-important controller. So in this case, I have chosen to use a PlayStation controller. I also have another PlayStation controller. You can also use a Xbox controller. This one is a Xbox 360, where you will need a connector cable. And if you are using a Mac computer, you will need a third-party software in order to get it to talk to your computer. There are other types of controllers that also work, including most Bluetooth controllers, as well as radio controllers as well. If you do not have any controller that will work, you can also use either your keyboard or use the mobile app that Zephyr has for a mobile controller. That will require a download as well as a connection to your computer. So find the one that works best for you. So let's take a quick look at our controller here. Controller. As you can see, I have calibrated. I am using my PlayStation 4 controller. I have connected it with a wire to make sure that the Bluetooth sometimes doesn't always work. You can calibrate it. I always suggest if you're using a new controller to do a quick calibration. If that still doesn't work, if something's still wrong, do an in-depth calibration. If you are using a mobile controller, you can go to mobile controller and you can connect it this way. Let's check out the mapping. So you'll be able to see where the controls are: throttle up, throttle down, yaw, pitch, roll, and then your camera, as well as your flight mode and your camera mode and your drone overlay. You do not need to know all of these, because what we will do is go to our scenarios. So first off, I like to use the PlayStation controller because if you can see, the joysticks are close by. They are on the same level with each other, much like most of the DJI controllers. As you can see, we have the joysticks right near each other. Also, the all-important trigger mechanisms, those will also become useful when it comes to your camera operation, which you will need to know. So let's take a look at our scenarios. So first off, we have our tutorial. You will be going through your tutorial. If you have a full version or an educational version, you will be also going through your basic training, which, as you can see, will have different modules that you will be going through. If this is an educational version, you will be assigned them. You can go back to your main menu and then back to your scenarios. So for the free version, you have their tutorial, you have the hill, you have the parking lot, and the yard. If you have purchased the full version, you have many of these. And if you purchase the kids version, you also have the kids competition version. And then I have added in the section, I have added in news scenarios, the tower inspection scenario, and Skip Frederick's edition. Skip Fredericks is a Hollywood drone guy. Very cool that he gets his own scenario. So the first thing that you want to do is go into your tutorial. So you want to load your scenario. The good news about the tutorial is that it does not give you a grade, but it will tell you all the features. So to start, you always bring your sticks in and then return them to center. So you can see. So the first thing you want to do is you want to throttle up, and if you notice they have a little pink box up there, you must hit that, and then it'll tell you again to come down, and you continue clicking your next. You'll yaw. All you have to do is spin 3 times, tell you to go. All right, so now you do your pitch forward, pitch back, and then it will have you combined your motions. So you will pitch forward, yaw, and then pitch forward again, hitting those boxes. And your tutorial will cover all 4 of your motions: roll, and roll. So once you get the basics down, it will continue. So now we're going to look at our other types of controls. So this will depend on what type of controller that you are using. So the overlay, you will have to find, depending on your controller. Do not worry, you cannot break this. So as you can see, the overlay allows you to find the direction without having to spend too much time looking, squinting at the boxes. Switching your cameras to change your view from your original, what we will call standing view, to your first person view. And now you can move your cameras up and down using, in this case, the trigger buttons. As you can see, right trigger goes up, left trigger goes down. Switch your camera back. So now you have the flight modes. So in flight modes, if you're not familiar with flight modes for drones, GPS is the most common. GPS will work when there are access to satellites. So GPS mode is the most common. And so if you move around, as you can see in the top left corner, we are in GPS mode. All right. So now we want to switch. We're going to be switching to ATTI mode. ATTI mode is short for attitude. So this will try to maintain the attitude of the drone that you give it. This is really good for places that do not have satellite GPS access, so inside large buildings. Course lock mode, sometimes we call this headless mode, which means even though if I turn a different direction, it will, when I press forward, it will go forward. And I can switch off. So now you're going to test out your path movements. So feel free to use the FPV, the first person view in the corner, in order to get to your positions. When it comes to those blue colored boxes, those ones you just need to hit, while these purple boxes are maintaining position. So it will tell you how long you need to sit there, 5 seconds, and then it will reset. So in this case, we need to go to our position, and then we need to bring the camera down to look at the bench and hold it there while it takes a picture. And then of course we need to land. So what we do is we get over our purple box and we bring that joystick down until it is ready to be finished. Power up the drone again.